It's a continuation. Wow, look at the currents. Look at this.
Nobody goes down, nobody comes up. This is a part of the tunnel, or was a part of the tunnel. Only European soldiers will be here with a gun, checking on the people that will be moving through.
Oh.
It's about 17 feet drop. If you want to take a closer look, it's okay. But no one has ever fallen down there before, so you shouldn't be the first.
Yeah. So this was the tunnel, part of the 5 rooms we was talking about earlier. So they should stand up here and just watch them. Put this on YouTube. Put this on YouTube. I think the first video stopped, so I gotta continue on it. That's cool though. Look at this up. Look how big this was. Cape Coast. Look how big this is. Wow. Wow. How big this is. What you say? What? One more. So I can see everything. They're waiting for us.
Okay, so when they blocked off the tunnel, though, they converted parts of it into water systems and others into storage spaces. That's basically what they did. Yeah. Because they did the spaces after the slave trade, and they were still here trading. They didn't stop trading. So after the slave trade, yeah.
What about this right here?
Okay, so originally, what we used in here was not there, but it was rather a door on this side, which was the original door of no return for the African men. The women had their own door of no return close by the female side. So 2 separate doors used by the male and the female, and they were all merged on the same ship, on separate decks, of course. But then this had to be closed off because the water, which was farther away at some point, was closer and it was flooding in. So they opened to the one we used, the men started going out this way, using the door of no return with the women too. And if we bring this wall down right now where we saw the shrine seated in the male dungeon, that's exactly where we're going to go. So the men had to walk from over there to here. Female punishment cell right here.
So where they used to be going to the part where they used to beat on the woman.
6 women maximum will be in this room with a door locking them up. If you want to defecate and urinate, it has to be done in that way. And this was their source of light and air.
They use it bathroom.
But the women that were sent there were
That's the
women
bathroom
that
for the
always
women.
fought to have their
6
freedom by
women.
all means necessary. Those that would not allow any European to abuse them sexually. That's where they held them. Unlike the men who were sent to the condemned cell, if you are in the condemned cell, you don't get food nor water. There is no light, there is no air. You stay in that room until you die. They die, they pick up the dead bodies, they throw them into the ocean. And whenever they picked up from the condemned cell, they made sure the people in the dungeons would be at the courtyard to witness the bodies being thrown out, to serve as an example to them that they cannot get out and misbehave just like that.
All right. Watch your step. Go ahead.
Yeah. We have 2 separate dungeons for the African women and kids. If I say kids, I'm not talking toddlers, I'm talking people from the age of 12. But then adults, you'll be around 45 to 50 years if you look much younger and are attracted to stay in the dungeon. And the thing is, while these people were here, both men, women, and these kids, all of them had pieces of cloth around their waist, which makes them literally naked. But then these women will sleep, urinate, defecate here, and in every month as women, they will menstruate here as well. Now, you will ask the question, were they given sanitary towels? I'm sorry, no, there was nothing like that. Which means that piece of cloth you have on you is what you will have to use in handling your business. For 3 months of your stay here, 3 months on a ship, till you make it. Constantly Europeans frequented the dungeons, picking women, abusing them sexually. That's how come some of the women were found pregnant here. They had houses out of the castle. They take care of you. You're going to have your baby. The baby will be groomed. They grow up becoming interpreters, clerks, secretaries, bridging gaps between the local African community and the European communities, which was boosting European businesses. But you know, the mothers, they normally stayed outside. When the Europeans were leaving, they left all their belongings to them, these families, and they left. But tell you what, whenever the ships came, you will see African men, women, kids in a very long queue on this very corridor we used in here. They will be in shackles and chains, one after the other. But the one thing is, majority of the Africans that found themselves here were prisoners of wars. If majority of them were prisoners of wars, then it means after a war, they will capture a prince, princess, queen mother, chief, warlords, and several others. Which means literally the people that were made to queue up here, there were all these categories of people amongst them. They force you to walk out of that door, and then you go from something to nothing. You lose it all. You go out there, you start life all over again on the other side of the world. An estimated number of about 3.5 million people walked out of the door of no return in Cape Coast Castle alive. If you visit Elmina, about 11.5 million people walked out of the door of no return from there alive. I haven't talked about the several other forts that were built along the coast of West Africa. But looking at the numbers that was taken from Africa, it makes the transatlantic slave trade become the biggest forced migration in human history the world has ever seen. And aboard the slave ships, because people were packed on top of the other, just like books on shelves, and people dying so much. Sometimes people think that the Europeans lost money because so many of the people were dying. But I'll tell you for a fact that no, they didn't lose money. It was actually in favor of them, going in favor of them. Whether they lost people or had all the people on board, they made money with money either ways. All in the name of insurance. They have insurance. If you go to England, you can ask of Lloyd's of London. They will tell you. They played a major role in insuring ships and its cargo. People made so much money that even today their children are still enjoying from that. And that is how come the transatlantic slave trade is still said to be one of the most profitable business that ever existed on the surface of the earth. Talk of Wall Street, Bank of America, Barclays Bank, and several other banks in the world, they all started off of slave trade. Nobody will tell you that.
So when I go back to America, I'm taking all my money out of Bank of America, all of them, I'm starting the shoebox game again.
Take a picture here before we go back and do that.
Take a picture of it.
Originally, the door of no return was short and narrow, but it was expanded after the slave trade. That is why it looks this big.
Hold on, baby. You gotta go to.
Yes.
You gotta go to it again. Okay.
All right. So come on now.
Wow, look at all this shit. Look at culture. This is culture.
All these houses you see around, none of it was here during the slave trade.
Well, look at my
Town
people,
was
yo.
a bit farther away than it is now. So the Europeans had walls all around, and none of the local people had access to this space. That is why the local people called this place Abrofrimpon, or White People's Beach, at that time. And still, the name is Abrofrimpon. It hasn't changed. Still, people call this place Abrofrimpon, White People's Beach. And this was their harbor. This was their harbor, where they moved everything from here. Ships will be about a mile away. Smaller boats will carry everything from here to the ships.
It's crazy, bro. Take a picture, bro. Huh?
That's so cool. The water.
You want to take a picture of this?
Yeah. It's all ready.
And you both can be in it. I'll help you do it. Can be in it.
Joey, you gotta just press that because I'm still
All right, cool.
recording.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Maybe can you take a picture of me standing? No, with your phone.
Like that?
Right here.
Hold on, stay like that. Okay.
What'd you say?
Yes. I don't speak that language, but I'm sure she
Can I
said.
take a picture real quick?
Oh, she said she showed you all your back.
You want to do what I said? Okay.
Hold on, you have to say that.
See how this shit is? Look, see? Those lefters on here? Look at this
You're
shit.
supposed to go inside.
Come on. This should be finished by now. You done? You done? I thought you was finished.
That says welcome.
Yeah, Aquala. I just told you that.
See?
Yeah, she learned it. Yeah, she got it. It's crazy, right? The hell is that?
It's hot, right?
No.
Oh, you sure? Okay. All right. Cool. So we came back to the castle using the door for 10, and it became door for 10 when Africans that were sent away at some point became free and realized that, hey, we are Africans, we have to go back to the continent where we were taken from to celebrate our freedom. It took them years for them to organize a trip to Africa. But in the year 1998, they were able to go back to Ghana to celebrate Emancipation Day, which was a theme to the Great Homecoming. When they arrived in Ghana, they were carrying 2 caskets, and in the caskets were mortal remains of ex-slaves, exhumed from Jamaica, Madam Christelle, and New York's Island Castle. They brought them to a village on the way from Accra to Cape Coast, where we have Fort Hampstead up on the hill. They performed a ceremony at that site and brought them via the ocean to the port. Carrying the casket through the door of no return, a ceremony was done. Breaking the chains of door of no return to door of return, telling every African that was taken away that even if they are dead today, their kids can go back to the continent of Africa and find their roots or wherever they were taken from. Most of the times I tell black people that come here that when you visit Cape Coast Castle, it's not actually just for a fun trip or just a tour. Like Christians, visiting Jerusalem is a pilgrimage. Muslims going to Mecca is a pilgrimage. For Africans, our pilgrimage is going here to learn about us and connect with our past. Well, I'll take you to see the condemned cell, and then from there we'll go out to see where they were enslaved. Thank you, Sebastian. You're welcome.
Good. He got a good job. Making all that money. He speak good English. I was gonna jump in that water.
What's the name of that line?
I was gonna jump in that water.
From Black Panther. He said, "Y'all rather what?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather drown."
Then be held bondage or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Drown with my ancestors would be up on it.
Yeah.
You know what picture would have been, huh? Get all of them together and I'm in the middle. Like, that would have been 1,000. Like, niggas were like, Mo is crazy. It's one of the cells. Yeah.
Not stand up yet. He's coming down.
Watch out. Keep coming. Go now. Keep coming. All right, good. Your legs are like.
The light here was never here originally, because there was a door, and there was another door here. These doors were all locked up. African men, those that fought to have their freedom by all means necessary, will be here. If you are here, you don't see the face of the person seated beside you. You're going to hear them talk. What they say you don't understand because of language barrier. The next day you're going to realize it's becoming quiet here. You try to move up and down just to hear a person say something, but everybody you move around touching is dead. Maximum 3 days, the strongest person is going to die. They will pick up all the dead bodies and throw them into the ocean. And as I told you earlier, they made sure all the time that Africans in the dungeons will be out of the courtyard to witness the bodies being thrown out there to serve as a deterrent.